Welcome back to Prime. I'm Amy Jones. Just last week, North Texas students went back to school, which can mean a lot of chaos at home, and it's hard to get back into that back to school kind of routine. But have no fear, Kathy Peel is here. She's a family manager with some great tips today she's going to share with us about getting back into that routine. Kathy, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, it's good to be here, Amy.
Why is it so chaotic at this time of year?
Well, lots of details, lots of new routines to start, but it's so important just to get, as a parent, to get in your mind that school is your child's career, okay? And it's just as important as mom or dad's career. And when you start with that attitude and kids know that their world is really valuable, just like mom and dad says, it helps kind of build a family team and helps them have a mindset that helps them succeed at school. So think, okay, this is my child's career and I want to help them succeed, so I want to give them the tools, want to help them get into some good routines. And so that's what we're going to talk about, how to do that.
Now, you know a lot about organizing. You're an expert on this, but what are we doing wrong as parents?
Well, people call me an expert organizer. I feel like more of a manager because organizing and cleaning, every family has to come up with their own definition of that, about what makes home a good place to be. So we want to be organized enough so that you know what you own and where it is. And that's real important when you have kids and you start collecting lots and lots more stuff. So one of the first things you can do as a parent to just start getting organized is to create a control central. You know, home is an organization, family is an organization, and I think it's the most important organization in the world. Every manager of an organization or a company is going to have a base of operation. You need that at home. And it could be as simple as if you have a desk in the kitchen, that's great, but you could use a countertop with some space underneath it. There just needs to be a central location where you have a message board, you keep school supplies, you keep a running grocery list. Mom needs a notebook. Mom or dad or whoever is the family manager. It's not about gender. It's about, you know, who has the most time and ability to do it. But you need a notebook too to keep all those papers that come home from school for you. And if you have them all in one place in a notebook, that really helps. Also at Control Central, you want to have inboxes for your kids so that they can put those forms that need to be signed, papers mom and dad need to read. It's their responsibility to read them and load them back in the inboxes. But it's just your Control Central is like, this is where it all happens. It's Message Central. It's where you keep all the information, and that's important.
Is it difficult to get started? It sounds a little bit daunting when you think about, oh, I have to organize all this stuff. How am I going to do? I mean, is it something that's pretty easy to do?
Yeah, it's easy to do. All you need is, you know, a little bit of space on a countertop or desk in a central location. Make sure you get some. These are inexpensive inboxes. You don't have to have expensive ones. These are, you know, I think these were less than $6. You have a grocery list there. You have a message board, and everybody knows. You train your kids to say, okay, if you're going out, you know, you right here where you're going, or if there's a phone message, this is where everybody knows to do it. And as you're entering the school year, Amy, it's also a good time to kind of have a family meeting sometime after homework or on the weekend when there's not something exciting going on. Right. You know, be smart about when you have this meeting. But you can use this form. It's called Who's Responsible for What? This is a free download at familymanager.com. This is really important because you want your kids to know what they're responsible for. And they need to be doing some chores. I mean, everybody who lives under the roof of the home needs to take responsibility to keep it up. Now, the kids need to, you know, keep up their own things, but they still need to help with some things around the house. You need to talk about that. Okay?
At what age? What age should you start doing that?
You know, a 3-year-old, you can put a sock on a 3-year-old's hand and say, okay, we're going to have cabin cleanup time, you know, for just 7 minutes tonight. And your job is to wipe off the baseboard or the banister. you know, that didn't help you very much. But that child's learning at an early age. You have a 3-year-old.
Yes, that's why I'm asking what age. I mean, is it
he
too early?
Can learn. Okay, you know, I'm important because I'm dusting this with a little sock on his hand, or give him a bottle of water, clean water in his little spray bottle and a clean sponge. Let him clean the front of the refrigerator. Again, that doesn't help you, and there'll be a little puddle of water. But he's learning from an early age that he's part of a family team, and everybody who lives there helps to make home a good place to be. So it's good to start some of these routines early in the school year so kids just don't think, well, I'm in school so I don't have to do anything else. Because they do have time. If they have time to play games and watch television and go out with their friends, they have time to help at home, and it's really important. And this is another great tool that you can download. All these are free at familymanager.com, an exit routine. And you can just print this and put it by the back door. It'll help you remember, oh, library books, gym clothes, those forms. And so you can download that and post it by the back door.
That's a great idea, because sometimes it can be frantic, especially in the morning. And if you have more than one child trying to get everything and remembering, oh, we need this, or the school said to bring this today, and I don't want to forget that. So if you have this, then you won't forget it.
You won't. And you know, you said, you know, mornings can be really crazy. And moms and dads need to understand mornings are the launching pad for the day. And your kids are going into a stress-filled world, and you think, well, what's stressful about kindergarten or, you know, 3rd grade? Well, it is stressful. If you don't get picked first round for kickball, or kids can be cruel to each other, and so you want that child to walk out on a peaceful and positive note, knowing that he's loved, he's the greatest kid. If you lined up all the 5-year-olds or the 10-year-olds or however old your child is, and said, I would choose you. And so you want to get that across at a easy, quick breakfast. You know, you don't have to do some big spread, but you need to sit down for a few minutes at breakfast. A few. You know, usually you don't have more than a few minutes, but that's just important to remind them that you love them, you're excited about what they're going to do that day, and make your schedule such that you don't have to rush around. You know, work backwards. If you think, okay, this takes 15 minutes, this takes 10 minutes, and then build in an extra 10 or 15 minutes to your schedule, because kids are they're unpredictable. Yeah. Predictably unpredictable.
Right.
And things happen. And so you don't want to be rushing them out the door, because they're starting the day stressed.
So when I'm running out the door yelling, we're running late, and now that my son, when he plays, I'm going to work in his little car, and he says, Mommy, I'm late, I'm probably sending the wrong message, I'm thinking.
And I understand, Amy, because I was so like that with my firstborn, and I learned, though, that, gosh, he's so stressed. I'd like throw him into my friend. I was in a carpool, throw him into the car, you know. And so that was pretty much the year I started trying to manage my home and life better. And
SOPs, that's something you kind of created to do this, right?
You know what? At any business or organization, you've got standard operating procedures. This is the way we always do it. You need to have those at home too. And it gives a child a sense of security when they know this is the way we always do it. So if they know that every morning we sit down for 3 or 4 minutes at the table together. Every morning somebody is in charge of the 10-minute warning to get everybody out the door. Every afternoon I come in the door, a great SOP, or these are standard operating procedures or routines if that's easier for you. But they need to come in, have a routine where they walk in, they know they have a certain place where they put any gear, take their lunchbox to the kitchen. You might want them to, empty it out. You need to have certain tasks that they do every day in a certain way, and that gives them, again, a sense of security. They know what to do when.
And for all the different times of the day, you should have these, right?
So after school, you need to decide. I always thought, well, they need a little downtime just to relax after school. And, you need to decide how much television can they watch, if any. What time is homework going to be done? If you're out working outside the home, you need to, they need to know what they're responsible for, who they can have over, who they can't have over. There's another great free tool on the Family Manager website that helps you go through questions with your preteen about things like that, and then sign it so they know what they're supposed to do and not supposed to do, and can't say, well, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to have my friends over while you weren't home. You need to talk about those things ahead of time.
And how can you do all of this without it making it seem like it's a chore to the child?
Well, if you start a conversation, let's say you're talking about these things at a family meeting. If you start by looking a child in the eye and saying, you know what, it is such a privilege to be your parent. You have such potential, and just, lay it on, because they are great. And say, it's my responsibility to parent you and to help you be successful in every way. And these are some things we're going to put into place in our house so that we can all help each other be successful in life. And the deal is, Amy, if a child knows that mom and dad have to abide by the same rules, it makes it a lot easier. Let's talk, we've got some things here about clutter. So let's just talk here. If you say, okay, we're going to have some clutter control around here, and I'm getting you a toy scoop. If you've got boys and they have Legos, this makes it so easy. But let's say you have some clutter-free zones, and if they if they leave things in those clutter-free zones, they go to clutter jail. And if they're old enough to have some money, then they have to pay you, some bail money to get the things out. If they're not old enough, then make your clutter jail so that they can see through it and they can see that toy, and you put it up on a shelf and say, in jail for like 48 hours. Or you can have a swine fine where they have to put some money in your bank. You want to make it as fun as possible with these kind of tools, but the deal is mom and dad have to cooperate too. If we leave stuff in the clutter-free zones, the kids get to fine us.
Oh,
okay?
That's a good idea.
It makes it more of a team thing. It's not just about you do this, but also getting them to cooperate. I have a lot of moms and dads who say, well, we tried this and they just won't cooperate. And I have to remind those moms and dads, first of all, they're the parent, okay? They can set the rules. But kids, do they watch television? Do they play video games? Do they play computer games? Of course, they're normal American kids. And I have to remind those parents, those are not rights. Those are privileges. And you're doing your child a disservice if you let them have their privileges before they fulfill responsibilities. So there are, again, lots of tools on the Family Manager website and in the Busy Mom's Guide for Happy Organized Home that help you do this, because it does sound like a lot. And don't be overwhelmed. One thing at a time, because you want home to be fun.
Right. Well, you have great advice. And as you mentioned, I'm going to, as soon as we're done with this, I'm hopping on the computer. I'm going to familymanager.com to read more and learn about that, get some of those forms that we can download. And if you want to learn more about Prime, you can go to our website on primetv.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm Amy Jones. Thanks for watching us. See you next time.